And again, I'm James Tadow King out of Washington, D.C., born and raised. Uh, you asked some pretty good questions, and I'm going to go ahead and answer them. And this is this is the truth. And 20 years ago, 20 years ago, my wife at the time came to me and she said, "We're travel agents." Now I have 35 years as a real estate agent slash investor. And I was like, I know nothing about travel, haven't traveled anywhere, haven't been anywhere, haven't done anything, boom, boom, boom. Have no need, no desire to travel, not planning on it, not loving it, nothing. For me, travel is going down the road to Richmond or going to Virginia to King's Dominion, a family weekend, either or a family weekend or one day and then doing a turnaround and coming back home. That was my family vacation with my parents, my two parents. And that's what I thought vacationing was. That's what I thought traveling was, those road trips. So when my wife told me at the time that, hey, we're traveling, I was like, we're not traveling. I don't know nothing about it, don't want no parts of it. And I listened to her and she pleaded her case and she basically said that she was going to do it with or without me. I was like, cool, well, have fun. I hope you enjoy it because I'm not doing it. During that time though, I said, you know what? I started doing some research on it. And what I started doing was noticing my wife was getting these things in the mail called checks, these orange colored things, right? And I did something I don't usually do, and that's called opening her mail. And it wasn't because I was being that peeping Tom, that type of guy. I was open her mail because I wanted to know, exactly what she was doing and how much she was earning from this thing. Because I believe in traditional 9 to 5. I believe in real estate commissions, and I believe in an investor. Get out there and hustle for your dollar, that type of thing. And I didn't feel as though I could make money or people could earn any type of income with what it is that she had purchased. Come to find out, I wasn't impressed with the amount on the checks that she was getting. What I was impressed with was the frequency in which these checks were coming into the house. That she was getting like 2 to 3 checks every single week coming into the house from this thing that she purchased. And I looked at that. That was interesting to me because I was like, if we put our heads together, there's no telling exactly how much money we can really make. But I need to know a lot more information about it. And I knew one of the components was travel, becoming a travel agent. And what I did not want to do is wear one of these headsets, walk around talking to people about booking their travel. That's not what I wanted to do at all. What I wanted to do is just investigate, you know, how does travel fit into what it is that I'm already doing, which was real estate, 100% real estate. I was doing insurance, I was doing some other things. Anything I thought made a dollar traditionally, I would do it. So I looked into it, and my goal, honestly, my goal was to prove to her that these things don't work, and a waste of time. So my first goal was to set out and say they declared that the travel allowed you to get travel agent perks and travel a lot more for a lot less. That was the main thing, right? Travel a lot more for a lot less. I said, let's put it to the test, you know. So I scheduled a trip to go to Jamaica, actually the weekend after September the 11th. And I had never been on an airplane before in my life, but I was like, I wanted to go and try this airplane thing. And I had a fear of airplanes. So I said, the first thing I did is I went to pilot school, got my pilot's license, learned how to fly a plane because I was like, if something kicks off or something goes wrong on this airplane, I want to be able to put myself in a position where I knew how to fly it. So that's what I did. The next thing what happened was September 11th, and planes were flying in the buildings, and I was like, this is a sign, this is a message that I have no business in the air, right? So I was like, okay, I'm not flying, and I was looking to cancel that trip. But I said, at the last month, I'm not going to cancel it. I'm gonna go ahead and go through it. And when I found out from that trip it was one of the best experiences I had ever had in my life. I enjoyed that trip a whole lot. And I was going to Jamaica. So From then on, what I did, I was still trying to prove that these things don't work. So my goal was to travel as much as possible and see what the savings were involved, to see how much I was actually spending, that type of thing. I ended up taking something. My wife's often accompanied me at the time, and we spent a 1 week vacation every single month for 3.5 years. That was because of savings. So a lot of the trips that would pay thousands of dollars, we was able to get it for a lot less because of the travel programs that we, went ahead. I took advantage of some of the certifications to get a lower price at the hotels, to get a lower price on the airlines, slightly lower. It wasn't no big deal. And but then it did. In addition to that, we got commissions. And again, truthfully, I was not impressed with the commissions. I wasn't impressed with the commissions. What I was impressed was, you know, being able to negotiate the deal. That's what I like to do anyway. Negotiate a deal and get a lower price. And I did travel a lot, and I loved it. I traveled so much that I was going to different places, usually domestic United States, right? Uh, when I went to Jamaica, I was going to Jamaica 4 to 5 times a year and stayed in the US the rest, 1 week in different states. Like I would go to Vegas, loved Vegas, I would go to California, been to California twice, going to San Diego, and was flying different places. Just the airlines, I love the airlines because my favorite airline is Southwest. Haven't flown in a long time now, but at the time, those 3.5, 4 years, Southwest Airlines #1, hands down. And I said, okay, I got a passion for travel. I like this travel thing. Then the next thing I discovered was cruises. And I said, okay, this is it right here. City on the Seas. Love it. Love it. To this day, love the cruises. I discovered on the cruises, you got something called room service. Love it. Tested it out. Pick up the phone, call, say, hey, I would like this, that, another. Boom, boom. I'm in room such. Oh, we know what room you're in. Okay. Click. The next thing you know, knock at the door. Like, who was that? Who knows I'm here? Room service. No, you can't be kidding. I just hung the phone up and they arrived. And I did that like 4 times a day just to test it out. And I was like, man, it didn't matter where I went. Room service was beautiful. I loved it. And again, love my cruises. Fell in love with travel. That was on lock. That's a box that was checked. The next thing I want to know is, could I actually turn this into a business? Um, and if so, how would I go about doing it? Um, I actually turned mine into a business, I got to set it up as at first, initially, a LLC, then converted it over to an S Corp. And that's not necessary for some people, but for me, I want to make sure that when it comes tax time or whatever, I have things to show that, hey, I set this up as a business to make sure there was no doubt that I wasn't playing around with it. The next thing I did was, can I make money? But what I dare open my mouth to people and say, you can make money off of this. And what I loved about the way the setup is for the travel business, especially what we're doing today, right now, I call it the travel agent in a box program. Whereas somebody brand new can get started, and the system, the company will literally take them by the hand via videos like we're doing now, step by step, show them what they need to do to get started, show them what they need to do to start their business, to start earning money. It takes a lot of the load off me personally. It takes a lot of the load off of people who are getting started and have teams and organizations building, so that's not something we have to deal with necessarily. We can always reach out and answer questions that might exist, but we can easily point to the company and say, it's on this video. There's a video in the back office which supports the question that you're asking. So I love that about it. And there's so much to do with travel. I used to run a guy's trip to Las Vegas for 15 years. For 15 years, group travel, 30 plus guys. It was always growing every single year. Blast ball, for my birthday doing March Madness in Las Vegas, which is incredible. Pisces, thank you. And phenomenal experience, great commissions. And I also discovered on cruises, put together a couple of trips for cruises. Group travel is phenomenal income. I mean, once the trip has been taken, maybe a month or two later, depending on the vendor used, the vendor being the cruise line, you got an experience with that. Uh, Depending on them is how soon do I get my commission check? But the commission checks I've never had an issue with, and I was like, okay, cool. Cool. So I had to look into that some more to book more travel. I would like to book more travel. I'd like to know more about the travel industry just so that I can be able to uh, talk about it and train on it. I would like to train on it and become an ambassador, what's called an ambassador with our company that I'm with now, and I'm hoping that you would join me. But the ambassador program is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. And that's where vendors like cruise lines, hotels, resorts want us as travel agents to come out there and train with them. And no additional cost, which is phenomenal. And it's a great price point that we're at for people to get started with us right now. It's $200 for somebody to get started. And that was another box that I checked off. I said, boom, started my business. This is a business that can run on its own, self-sufficient. And people have the ability to earn money in travel. The next point was making some additional money because with our company, we have actually two companies. One is for travel and one is the marketing company. And a marketing compensation plan with this is bar none. I mean, when I say that, I've checked out other network marketing companies, MLM companies, whatever you want to call it. And if somebody wants to take advantage of that and make some additional money, just referral marketing, telling people about something that they're experiencing, having a good time about it and making some additional money, boom, you can make some severe money. We have people making seven figures. A lot of people making seven figures. A lot of people are making six figures and growing. Right now, I have a team probably about 130, 140 people active right now. That fluctuates. That's one of those days that goes up and down depending on, what type of people you're bringing into the organization. So the people that I'm bringing in now are sticking to stay. When I first got started, I was talking to anybody breathing, you know, but live and learn. And that's not the best way for me to build my organization or to let people know about it. I still let people know about it here and there, but my focus, I'm gonna tell you who my focus is in a second. But that was another box check for me. The last and final box that I was interested in getting checked was fun. If I can't have fun doing it, I don't want to do it. And that's just the bottom line. Traveling is fun. Making money to me is fun. And when I was able to combine the two of traveling and making money, I was like, I'm done. I'm having fun. I'm enjoying myself. I don't feel like this is something I have to get up and do. It's not a headache. I don't have to worry about somebody in a cubicle. I have freedom. Uh, I don't have to necessarily be anywhere unless I actually put myself in a position to be somewhere, and I don't have to, I don't have anybody looking over my shoulder every 5 seconds. And I can set myself up where I can go and do a wine tasting and get paid for it. And I'm having a ball. And I'm meeting an additional people while I'm there at the wine tasting. I can set myself up so I can go on an excursion. I can go parasailing, meet other people while I'm there. And guess what? I can get paid for it. Or I can go for free just to get the experience of parasailing, just so I can come back and tell people about it. So all that to me is phenomenal. Never done it before. Had no idea that the travel industry even existed in the magnitude that it did. So I fell in love with it. So the marketing, talking to people, the referral marketing aspect of it is something that was very attractive to me. I love to talk to people, always talking to people. Love to let people know exactly what's going on. I tried it out for myself. And I said, you know what, it works. And while I'm trying to show my wife that, I said, you wasted your time in getting us involved in this, I actually proved to myself that I was totally wrong. I ended up apologizing to her for even trying to slow her progress down and shoot her dreams down. Um, I went through the process, and I went through the process after about 4 years. I turned into the type of person who's like, now I had to go sit before people who were doing the presentation to learn the presentation. I'm the type of person, I love to do trainings. I love to do that type of thing. So I go to the trainings. I'm very involved in what's going on with the company, staying connected, staying plugged in. And then, conveying the messages onto the team and letting them know, hey, this is what's going on. Are you interested in this? Are you interested in that? What exactly are you interested in? That and that type of thing. Okay. So I hope that answered the first part of your question as to how I'm involved, why I'm involved. I just flat out love it. Your next question was, why you? So that's a great question. Why you? The best answer is, back in the day, one of my first experiences was throwing house parties. Love to throw house parties because why? I love to have fun. And house parties making some significant money, some real money, you know. And I love to have fun, love to make money. And with the house parties, I had a large, huge clientele of women. So I could tell a woman about it and she would tell her friends and they would come out to the party, boom, boom, boom. I never had to worry about telling the men about it, the guys, the fellas, because fellas naturally follow women. All women got to do is open their mouths and here come the guys. So I never worried about having guys. I worried about the women because then women have a tendency on taking on a responsibility for the guys that they invited, if that makes sense. And I had a tendency, I hold people accountable, especially back in the day we was doing house parties and I knew whose house we were going to be in. So I had a responsibility to make sure the house didn't get torn down. So I had a responsibility to find out who these women were inviting to the house so that they would be held accountable for these guys and keeping them under control. And honestly, I've not ever had a problem after, well, I did it for almost 8 years, 8 years, 8 years. And the reason that fell apart and stopped was because of the money. I had friends, guys around me, and everybody's supposed to play their roles and do different things. People got jealous. People started hating, doing typical things that friends do when money's involved. Wanting bigger shares of the money, thinking they should have this instead of that, make this instead of that, whatever. That's the end of that. Stop doing it because I stopped having fun. It turned into a job. When I had to manage people, I had to manage these people, make sure everybody was doing their job, doing what it, and instead of people going saying I'm going to handle the DJs and now I'm going to go party. Now I ain't got nobody on the DJ booth, right? So back to why I reached out to you. Like I said, I've been a real estate agent, been in real estate business for 35, going on over 35 years now. And one thing I know about me, the real estate agents I encountered is we have peaks and valleys as far as hot and cold times of the real estate cycle, the real estate market. When you're going to sell a house, when you're not going to sell houses, we rely on commissions. A lot of times we rely on our 70 to 100% of real estate commission, depending on which company you're affiliated with. And people are wishy-washy, you know, loan officers, your buyers, your sellers, all those people wishy-washy. I know that you can have a seller 1 minute and the seller could bow out and decide they don't want to sell the house at this particular time. Or a buyer you could be working with a buyer for months and then a buyer bails out for some other reason, because they got a family member who is now a real estate agent and they want to give their business to their family member, that type of stuff. Loan officers, shady. They give you some people and they say, oh, this people are pre-approved, boom, boom, boom. And then you get to the settlement table and you find out that they really not, or shouldn't have been pre-approved. You find out that they actually want to reach in your pocket as the real estate agent and borrow some money from you, not borrow, take some money from you to help the loan get through so that they can get paid their commission. But then in essence, the people that you're working with had no business even being qualified in the first place. So real estate is a tricky business. It's up and down business. Um, I love it. I've had success with it. I can't say I had fun with it. It was a business. It was a way to make an income, a very good income. Um, has a lot of shadiness with it. And it's a thing where you definitely got to dot your I's, cross your T's, and make sure those I's are dotted and T's are crossed, and make sure the people involved I's are dotted, T's are crossed, in order for you to have a successful transaction. I love the business. I can't say I was having fun with the business. I still am involved with the business. And I like it more from an investor angle than I did helping somebody buy a house, having a buyer. I'd rather work with investors. And that just came with me, my personal experience, my journey, the things that I've gone through. That's my preference. Why I'm reaching out to you is because having talked to other real estate agents, I know that a lot of agents go through the same thing that I was going through. I know that real estate agents experience having to wait on commissions, understand that business right there. So when people start talking uh, about money, I'm not making any money doing this, or I haven't made my money yet. But real estate agents understand that it's a commission-based business. That's not something I have to explain to them. And it comes back to my party theme and who I was growing up, uh, talking to women. In our business right now, there's probably like a little over 120,000 active agents worldwide, and it's growing. We just had our 9th anniversary. We're growing like crazy. But what I know for a fact is that number has the potential to double overnight just because it's 85% women. The guys are coming. Absolutely will be here and they will jump. But I reached out to you because you're a woman. You're what I consider my niche group, who I reach out to, and you're a real estate an agent. And I don't know if you're an investor, we hadn't talked, but definitely a real estate agent. You understand, you understand business because real estate is a business and you're involved in it. And if you understand that real estate game, then you would have no problem understanding what it is that I'm offering you. Uh, this is something I wasn't expecting. I honestly was not planning on being in the industry of travel. I'm glad it was introduced to me. But I think it can benefit not only myself, but the people I talk to. I know it can. Absolutely know it can. And I'm not even, I don't feel like I'm putting my neck out on the line to introduce this to people because it's something that absolutely works. You know, you talk to people and say, well, that when I've talked to people and when I've heard people talking, and a lot of them said, well, I had somebody, my sister, my brother, my uncle, my mailman, you know, it didn't work for them. But did they work for it? That's my question. Did they work for it? Did they work it? Because a lot of people get involved and they're like, it didn't work for me. Well, how much time did you give it? You know, what did you do? What did you expect? You know, and all these are things I put in place up front to get these questions answered. It's called goals. Of course, you know about this because you're a real estate agent. I don't have to teach you about goals. You already know about it. There's a lot of other people out here who weren't taught that in school, and you have to take them through step by step of what goals are, what finances are, how to, you know, with real estate agents, you kind of cut through the chase. You cut through all that red tape, and you actually got the person who already understands all that. Now we can go to work together. We understand where we're going, and now it's just the putting together. Hey, this is how we get paid. This is how we have fun, and this is how we combine the two together. Boom, 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 and come up with a simple question. This is, hey, is this something that sounds like you might be interested in? So, with that said, I'm willing to answer any other questions you might have. Please feel free to reach out to me. Let's have a discussion. Pick up the phone. We can talk to each other. I have no problem with that, of course. My phone number is 240-501-1010, 240-501-1010. I want to thank you and I appreciate your time. And again, please forgive my tardiness. You have a good one. James Tadow.